So recently I came to the realization that my singing voice is no longer as temperamental as it used to be. There was a time in my life when I never knew from day to day or even hour to hour what was going to come out of my mouth when I opened it. My voice just seemed to be so volatile and so fussy, and I felt as though I could never really appease it, and I had to abide by a number of different rules and regulations in order to try to get my voice to cooperate, in order to satisfy my voice. So when I was actively gigging with my band and being paid to do so, I used to have to get not just one, but 2 good nights of sleep before a gig. Or else I'd have difficulties properly energizing my voice, and my voice would be breathy and I'd have no vocal control. It's a skydiving plane. I live by a skydiving airport, sorry. Every time I try to record outside, this is exactly what I get. All right, and also when it came to the foods that I ate, I had to make sure that I didn't eat certain foods before a gig, and then I didn't eat 3 hours before I had to go on stage, and my allergies were always a mess, and my asthma was a mess, and it was just a mess, and I just never knew what to expect from day to day, when it came to my voice, and I felt like I was always trying to appease some fussy, irrational, emotional toddler. And then in recent years, as I've started to overhaul my technique and become a lot more focused in terms of the types of sounds that I want to make, and then a lot more intentional and a lot more directed, I guess, in terms of how I train my voice to make those kinds of sounds, my voice has become a lot more reliable, a lot more trustworthy. So now when I'm having a bad vocal day, the average listener probably would not even know, because now the difference between my good vocal days and bad vocal days are so much less dramatic. They're so much more subtle. I'm aware of when I'm having a bad day, but the other thing too is that I'm able to get myself back on track so much faster and so much more consistently than I used to be able to. It used to be that if it was a bad vocal day, I just threw up my hands and said, well, it's a bad vocal day, and then I just give up. But now, if I feel as though something's a little bit off, it's so easy for me to get right back on track, vocally speaking. And so I just want to tell you that if you feel as though you're in this place right now where you're having that little toddler throwing tantrums all the time, and you just never know how to please it, it will get better. What you really need to do is get a lot more intentional with your training. You need to make sure that you're practicing the right things in the right ways. The right things are the things that are going to be getting you to reach to those goals, helping you achieve the kinds of sounds that you want to achieve. And if you are very deliberate and intentional and focused in your practice, you will develop that reliability and that consistency, and your voice will no longer be as volatile. You won't feel like it's always a precarious thing, that you're always walking on eggshells around your voice. It will get better, and it will become a lot more reliable. So you just need to stick it out, and you need to just keep working at it and be really mindful about how you practice.